What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Rice Rocketeer. Thanks for tuning in. Today we are out in Mineola, Long Island. So this is Mineola Moto is one of my absolute favorite dealerships, guys, if not my favorite dealership. I bought my second motorcycle from them, the Indian FTR, about 2 years ago now. It's been 2 years. But I still, to this day, I come back again and again. I come back about once a month, not only because it's a really nice ride from the city, but because they got really cool people here who are just like completely happy to talk bikes. Even if I'm not going to buy a bike, they're just really welcoming. They always got new stuff coming in. So it's really fun to see what's in on that particular month, on that particular day. If you do come out here, make sure to ask for Kenny. He's a great guy. He's the one who hooked up this whole test ride with this Suzuki behind me. Get into that in 1 second. But I highly recommend this shop, guys. They're not paying me to do any of this. I just really like coming out here and hanging with them. So enough about that. We're going to talk about this, the Suzuki GSX R8. 8R. I'm thinking Yamaha. Today's all about Suzuki, guys. And I've done a little bit of research on this bike, but as you know, if you watch my channel, I don't really do full-on reviews, right? There's tons of other people who are doing things, comparisons, 0 to 60 pulls, spec-based videos, and I don't do any of that because I don't personally think that that's the most important thing to all of this. So what this video is going to be about is really just my first impressions of the bike, how it feels. Is it fun to ride? That's the key one. Is it fun? And for me, a guy who rides primarily in the city and maybe a couple 100 miles on the weekend on the highway, does this bike do it for me? So those are the questions I'll be answering. I'm going to take this bike out, hit the highway, take some back roads, and just kind of, see how the bike feels. But I'm very excited. So let's go.
So that YouTube on the top as a dick, huh?
No, well,
I see the whole thing. I saw the beginning.
Yeah, no, he comes off as a dick. He actually cut me a huge break. Like, he would have taken that bike, but he just wrote me for my plate. I was like, yeah, I was like, because I was screwed either way.
Fair enough.
All right, guys, thank you. See you in a little bit. All right, I have my wallet. I'm good. Geez, I haven't done a test drive. I don't think I've ever done a test drive, guys. This is, I've bought every bike pretty much just on site, which I guess gets more to my point of, like, to me, it really just doesn't matter. Every bike is going to be fun. The reason I don't really care about specs all that much is because I just love riding. I'd ride a 250 the same as I ride a 1000. So it doesn't really matter. I just love riding. And that being said, this bike, Suzuki, as far as I know, every time I mention Suzuki, it's one of two answers I get from people. It's, oh, the Hayabusa. Or it's, all the bikes are budget and they're just kind of like low quality is what a lot of people say. And I just find that hard to believe because it's been around for so long, and it's got to mean something. They're one of the big four, and they're tried and tested, tried and true. But anyway, I guess the bare minimum specs I'll share on this bike. It's a 775cc parallel twin, inline twin. I know the front and back are adjustable suspension-wise, and brakes. It looks like there's Nissan on the front and probably Nissan on the back, guys. Again, it's not a spec video, so Nissan on the back as well. I'm excited to see how this compares to my Yamaha MT-07, which I had for a few months. So I'm curious. It's obviously very different, but it does have the 275-degree firing order as well, which creates kind of a really fun exhaust note, but also kind of a raw feeling as far as I understood it from my MT-07. It felt like a raw, fun bike. So, yeah. All right, let's start it up and see how the exhaust sounds. Oh, that was easy. Ooh, I like the TFT too, guys. Nice and docile. So it looks like from the tack, it looks like it revs out fairly far. which for a parallel twin, I think the Yamaha was at 10,000, it kind of stopped. Oh. Alright, so it's actually, the seat height is definitely lower than my triple. Can't quite flat foot it, but that's okay because I can't really flat foot anything. I'm eager to see how this windscreen holds up. I've never had a windscreen before, so I feel like it'll be awful comfy. Oh, it's so quiet compared to my bike. I'm so used to having the exhaust. It's just, but I miss this sound, this little kind of like staggered putter. It's like which is nice. Again, it's that raw feeling. So like, let's see, what am I in? I'm in traction control is 3, SDMS. I don't know what that is. All right, well, we'll figure it out. Let's go have some fun. Alright. Very comfy ride. Geez, this bike is smooth. This is the first thing that comes to my mind. Yeah, acceleration, it takes some revving out, which is nice because it makes you have to kind of like give into it, like consciously give it some gas. It's not so quick on the pickup that it's dangerous, but it picks up when you want it to. Like if you all you got to do is Okay, very easy to tip in. Finding neutral, super easy. It also, sorry guys, it makes it a little hard because I got these big gloves on, so I can't really feel the true sensitivity. So this bike comes with a quick shifter, which is awesome for this price point. That's nuts. Super flickable too. So there's 2 versions of this bike. There's the 8S and the 8R. The S is for street, the R is for race. So this bike inherently, the ergonomics are a little more aggressive, although not too aggressive. You're still upright, but you have the benefit of your hands kind of being in the sporty position with them tilted backwards. There we go. You feel sporty, and I feel like you can tuck in at any minute, but you don't need to. You can stay upright. And as for the rest of the ergonomics, the whole thing is fairly comfortable and relaxed. So this, to me, thinking about riding in the city, this seems kind of perfect. Yeah, I'm liking this position. The leg too, the way your legs fall is comfortable, but also if you just slide your foot back and tuck in a little bit, you really do feel like you're ready to go. You're in that race position tuck, without being so much so that it's uncomfortable after like 5 miles. So immediately my reaction is to the throttle and to the handlebar positions. Those are the two main things that stick out to me. It's the perfect height. Again, guys, I'm 5'7", around 5'7", and I can comfortably manage this bike at stoplights. I can't quite flat-foot it, but I can get the balls of my feet on the floor, which is great. Overall ergonomics, super comfortable. I really like the addition of the clip-ons. It makes me feel sporty when I want to. And the acceleration kicks in nicely. I think this is a really comfortable entry into like a sports bike or sporty riding, if you're not going to only do that. If you're also going to be in the city, do city riding, this is totally capable of doing that comfortably, but then opens the door for just a little more aggressive riding on the weekends. I like that kind of in-between point, and I think that's the trend these days. I think that's what people want. Inline fours and sport bikes, super bikes are kind of going out, and more usable bikes are on the way in. This checks that box for me. This is a very usable amount of power. It feels great and exhilarating. I'm gonna get on the highway and open it up a little bit and see how it feels in the upper end. But as far for the lower, like the bottom half of the revs, this bike is great. Has a lot of pep, but not so much to throw you off. Got new tires, I gotta be careful. Oh man, tips right in too. The handling is gorgeous. Woo! Alright, so that was at about 6,000 RPM that the power starts to kick in. So you got until 6,000 RPM to be chill, and then it's all downhill after that. Come on, Tesla. Very maneuverable bike. Very maneuverable bike. There's extra little bit of power. I'm in second gear, by the way, guys. So if you're wondering if it can hold its own on the highway, absolutely. Not that we're going very fast, but I feel very comfortable, and I know that I have a lot of power on tap should I need it. Yeah, that feels great. I have to say, I feel like I'm on my triple because it's the same color. I think in general, like, you all know how I feel about quick shifters. I was kind of like adamantly against them. Like, I really like the mechanics of shifting. But just like, a month and a half into owning my triple, I started using the hell out of my quick shifter, and it really changes how you interact with the bike. Well, really, like the freedom with which you interact with your bike, because you have the option to use it, you have the option to not use it. It's a great addition, and I can only imagine as a new rider how great it would be to have a quick shifter, because in those moments that you're just freaking out and your brain stalls out, so to speak, you can use your quick shifter to get what you need done to keep you safe. And so with this comes with a quick shifter. I don't believe it has an auto blipper. I was trying to use it on the way down, like decelerating, and I don't think it has that, but that's fine. It's really nice to have the quick shifter. Again, if you're new, you get stuck on the highway and you just kind of stall out, you don't know what to do, just whoop. Very smooth. It helps to be in the higher rev, so but it's really nice to have that option. I think especially for this price point, to have a quick shifter too, that's great. Let me see. I'm going to try to change the mode here. A, B, okay, A, B, and C. So I'm in C. Let me put it in A. There we go. Okay, alright. So now this, I guess A is sport, or whatever the... I guess I had it in the equivalent of rain. Let's see. Yeah, that picks up a lot quicker. Okay, guys, so I just figured that out. I was in C, which is fairly subtle roll-on, which I guess contributed to me believing it was very approachable. Let's see how it is in A. And this is like a perfect dash, by the way. I don't know, I guess people care a lot about that. It's really not that big of a deal to me, but it's really nice, I will say, to see the tachometer this way. I'm used to the Triumph, the Street Triple one, which is this kind of weird artsy looking one that doesn't quite do it for me. I love the traditional circle gauge. Everything is clear and readable on this screen, which is a huge plus. I think, as I was mentioning before, I think people always tell me that it's like a budget bike, and Suzuki that's what it's known for. This doesn't feel budget at all, and I think that's what this model was aimed at, which was kind of changing that opinion and giving you the tech, giving you the quick shifter, you know, giving you the TFT dash. And it doesn't feel like a premium bike, but it's not supposed to. It's not supposed to for that price, you know. This is supposed to be a good mid-range, usable, everyday bike that can kind of do everything, but not be too much in one direction, one way or the other. Definitely sporty, like I said, but it's not so much so the clip-ons aren't down here so that your back is killing you. You know, I don't know if this light's ever going to change. There it is. There it is. Now that's a lot sportier. So this picks up a lot quicker and is much more comfortable for me. I don't have to give it nearly as much to feel it. Like right there, I'm turning maybe a quarter inch and it's really picking up a good amount. It has that same, the engine has that same rumble as the MT-07. It was just like this kind of like invigorating, like pitter patter of power, because the firing order is kind of uneven, so to speak. It contributes to the feel of the bike, which I really liked about the MT-07. It just felt raw and it made me want to do that and rev and go. So this has that too. Super tippy. Also, I think having the so now that I've found the sporty mode, having both, I might eat these words, but in terms of a beginner bike, right, like this is pretty like intermediate to beginner level of bike. I'm not saying you should buy it if you're a beginner, but what I am saying is that it's capable of it, because the first mode was just very kind of gentle. But again, if you worked at it, you could get it up to higher speeds. And this is plenty of fun for me. Like, if these roads were open, I'd be having a blast right now. You know, I think it's capable of both. So it's kind of a nice entry into intermediate. At a good price, with a good screen, with a quick shifter, with a really lively feel. Like, to me, this bike is a win all around. So yeah, I don't know. I like this bike. I'm a fan of this bike. This would be great in the city. And I'm very comfy, dare I say, even more than on my triple. I'm liking the seating position. The seat's pretty comfortable too. Nice, good amount of pickup. Awesome. There it is, yeah. Ho ho ho! Yeah, if you want it, you can have it. You just gotta give it. And very smooth. Like, it's sudden, but it's smooth too. Surprising. Surprising. Well, consider that the brake test. Worst place to be right now. Should have played my cards a little better. Brakes are on point though. Alright, well, definitely nice to tuck in on this guy. That felt great. And it feels very stable when you accelerate like that. Wow. Got some real kick to it. If you're looking for intermediate bike with fairings, guys, this is fun. This is a good option. Prior to this, it was really only the MT-07 that was on my radar. But now this has definitely made my list of suggestions of like bikes I would suggest to people. It's just fun. does have a auto blipper. Very nice. So wow, yeah, have quick shifter and auto blipper and a nice TFT for this price, guys. Like, I don't know if you can beat it. I don't know every bike that's out there, but that's pretty good. See if I can get out of here and turn back around. Ooh, and it's nice. Like the position on the back, like when you slide back, is really nice. Like wedging your leg in between the tank and pushing enough pressure to your butt so that you can feel secure in this thing. Perfect position. Super usable power, but like really fun. Like accelerates, especially when you put it in the sportier mode. Like you're going. It's not a slow bike at all. It's just capable of being really manageable in the city and in traffic. I'm a fan. It also has all the fairings and like when the front fairings. So like when you tuck in, you get that taste of what people want from leader bikes, which is that like kind of cocoon of air that's formed. You get that with this. Which is awesome. Quick shifter and auto blipper, can't beat that. Really comfy seat actually. I was worried it was going to be a little hard, but it's pretty nice. And what I was saying is, ergonomically, wedging yourself between this back area here on the tanks, putting your knees in there and your feet on the pegs, it creates, for someone like me, I'm on the shorter side. I can imagine if you're taller, you might be a little cramped. But I'm 5'7", shorter legs, so to speak. I'm perfectly situated in this triangle here, and it's really comfortable with the clip-ons. It allows you to tuck your elbows in a little bit and really tuck down in there into that aggressive position if you want it, but then sit back up to be comfy for the city. So this is a really fun ride overall. I'm Kenny said that I would be surprised, and I genuinely am surprised at how much I actually like this bike. This is fun. I would switch these mirrors out, although they're very functional. Yeah, let's see. I'm gonna try to find my way back on a route out to Long Island and just not talk the whole time, but just give you some footage of the bike riding. Also, aesthetically, the only thing I have that I don't really like is that 8R. Like, just the half stripes. I don't know. It's such like a not important detail, but I'm just saying, if there's anything I had to pick out that I was like, I don't like this, obviously the tail, which everyone's gonna clean up as soon as they get, but also the decals, like, it doesn't, I don't know, it's weird. Everything else, like, if you take that off, this thing looks super mean. It has like the Suzuki on the bottom, whatever they call that, the chin on the bottom and the top, and the black and the yellow go really, really well together. And this is all subjective, everybody's different, but that's the only thing. I did not think I would like the headlights in the front, but they look really good with the angles of the fairings, of everything. And the turn signals look good. I usually don't like stock turn signals, but this fits the aesthetic of the bike. So, aesthetically speaking, I would be totally happy if I got this bike. This is great. Also, small detail. These are gray, and everything else is black, which is nice. I don't know why they did that, but it was a good choice. So, let me change the battery out, then I'm going to find a route home.
All right. It's so nice to be able to touch the ground comfortably.
I just got my suspension tuned recently, and it jacked the bike back up. So like, I thought that I just got comfortable with the bike, but I guess it physically sank a bit. And now I'm back to almost tippy-toeing the bike, which I was happy not to have done that for a while, but I suppose it is the price of good handling. Nope. That might have been my exit. So guys, in conclusion, I think this bike is a perfect intermediate bike, as it's not quite a beginner bike just because it does have that power. Although I would argue you could start with this bike and transition into the I guess it's called A, rider mode, and have a ton of fun with this bike, because I just had a ton of fun. Oh, got stuck in neutral there. But for the price point, guys, this bike has everything you need and want, right? Again, quick shifter, auto blipper down, albeit it's a little clunky, but it's still there when and if you want it. It has the power in the mid-range, as well as enough in the bottom, you know? I mean, like, it's enough to get around the city, although it's not super rambunctious, which makes it nice. Like, the MT-07 to me was a little more unhinged. This is a little more kind of subtle, so to speak. And I think it's nice for that reason. It has power at the top end when you really give it, and it also has the seating position, the ergonomics, as well as the front fairing to help you get there. So overall, this bike is sporty, not too sporty, but sporty. Tons of fun, great for someone like me who does mostly city riding. I think that's kind of where this bike wants to be, and then you know, on local highways. For longer trips, you might get a little tired of revving this thing out, but I think for someone like me who rides in the city, takes a weekend trip, this is spot on. Very surprised, I guess, like, in contrast to what most people were telling me, which is like Suzuki's all just like budget bikes. This doesn't feel budget at all. It feels like it has that character that the MT-07 did, and for this price, you don't really expect much more. I think the throttle, you know, the transmission, as well as the quality of the seat and like the comfort of the bike in general, is even above entry level for me. Like, I really like it. It's quite comfy. Moto, there's my bike. Whoop. Oh, right behind you. Alright guys, so that was that's my ride for today. My first impression of the Suzuki GSX-8R. Why is it so hard for me to say? Yeah, real fan of this bike, and you know, Kenny was right. I was surprised by this. It's a ton of fun. So I highly recommend you guys go out and try it if you're looking for your first bike, or perhaps second. I feel like it kind of fits in that time frame. It matches where somebody would be at in that time frame. But a lot of fun, and big shout out to Mineola Moto for letting me take this guy out for a test drive. That's all I got for today, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.